wide frame tells so much of a story as opposed to you cutting away, and that's something that you are so masterful at with Zemeckis, of course, as well, right? That you are letting the action flow into the frame and you're just following it and you're panning very slowly instead of cutting back and forth, and it immerses the audience in so much. You've done that so much in What Lies Beneath and Castaway. How is that something that you sit down with Zemeckis and process it through, or is that something, like on your own, or how's that collaboration that takes place?
Oh, it's definitely a collaboration. Bob is, he loves that part of it. I mean, he loves, figuring out, how we're going to shoot a scene. And a lot of times he'll come in with his, what he's thinking. And then he'll flip it right over and go, so what are you thinking? He wants to engage myself, but also actors, everybody else in the process of telling the story. And so he's always got a game plan of how he wants to do something, but he is open to suggestion and ideas of how to make it better. And so we've been together a long time. And I think the reason for that is that it's not as much of a struggle for him to communicate with me what he's trying to say and how he wants to do it. And I think that I understand Bob, and I understand the movie he's trying to make. So the collaboration is, I'll say, well, Bob, what I was thinking is that if we start here and the door opens up and the camera starts going down the walkway and we see the shadow of something peeking out around the corner, and then the camera reveals, the subject, and he'll say, yeah, but what I thought you were going to say is, and then he'll take that thought and he'll make it better. He'll take it and go, yeah, but then wouldn't it be great if, when we came around the corner, this is what we saw, because the audience is going to be thinking we're going to see this. But how about if we come around the corner and we see that? And you go, wow, yeah, that's pretty great, Bob. Yeah, let's do that. So it's that kind of collaboration that is, you don't get it with everybody. You don't click like that on those levels with everybody. So I think that the relationships that I have in the movie business, where it's, you go back again and again and again, there's a lot of reasons for that. And I think that, the work ultimately can get better and better as you understand each other more along the process. Because the great part about it is that, the great directors will always open up to the team to see if there's a better way, see if there's more to it. Because when you look at his films, from Minimum Focus to Infinity, everything in that frame is telling the story.
100%. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
The shot. Now, you might think I'm overstating this, but I'm not. What Lies Beneath, the final sequence upstairs, that bathroom, the hallway, the bedroom, to me, and without any dialogue, it's probably the best sequence of a thriller I have ever seen. Like, I even watched it yesterday, and I knew what was gonna happen. Like, I've seen it so many times, but I was still on the edge of my seat. It's so crazy how you guys created that entire sequence without any dialogue, and and that goes to show, and that immerses the audience in. So I like I said, I can't overstate this. It's some of the most incredible work in cinema is done by Robert Zemeckis, and obviously you're a collaboration with him. So love that sequence, and I imagine the house that was in What Lies Beneath was a set that you guys built. Especially, I kind of figured that out. I think I did, was when the camera goes underneath Michelle Pfeiffer's character, and
it was under the floor.
Yeah.
No, the house was built for the movie, and there's several scenes in it where, like that one, where literally, I would get involved with the construction coordinator and say, hey, listen, can we run the floor joists the wrong way? Basically, can we run them this way? Because I need the crane arm and the lever head. I needed to get it down under the floor. So I need the floor joist to be like this so I can actually get the camera down there and we can pull out the floor and then visually put it back in later. So you get to plan those movies out, especially that because it's such a Hitchcockian style thriller that you get to plan those things out. And so what Bob is so good at, not only can he come up with these ideas for these shots of what he wants to do, you also have to convince the actors that that's what they need to do, right? And you got two big stars. You got Michelle Pfeiffer, you got Harrison Ford, and they're going to have ideas about what their character is going to do. So he's very good about getting them involved and rehearsing those scenes, because it's not something we can just do on the day. We got to rip this wall out. We got to pull these floor joists out. We got to do that shot. And then, by the way, we got to do something else while we're putting it all back together in another room. So you have to figure all that stuff out. But if you have a director that is pushing the envelope to do shots like that, then you can figure it out. You can figure out how to do those shots. Now, the one thing that I think is fascinating is the bathroom. Okay, now we had 3 bathroom sets, 3 bathtub sets.
I figured, yeah.
Right, and we laid it out so that I had the crane arm in essence in the middle, and then I had one bathroom here, and then I had one bathroom on each side, so that we had this bathtub because the camera had to get down to water level, so it had to be really big on one side, so the camera had place to get and so to be placed, and so each bathtub had a shot. So we had different designs of bathtub to get all the different shots. And it was laid out in a way that we could do all that. The bathroom itself, when he carries her in and puts her in the tub, walkway from the hallway to the tub is about 30% longer than it is in the original bathroom. So the walk became a longer walk to that bathtub. Every time we went back in there in that sequence, we started with light gray walls, and by the time we finished, we have very dark gray walls. I think it was gray. So it always kept the room getting darker and darker and darker as we progressed through there. We built the house so that nothing lined up like a normal house would. Everything was a little off. So that was always easy to find a place where you could get the camera going past something and revealing something. So it always lent to this idea of, something going on in this house. I remember saying to him, Bob, this move is so slow. Do you want should we do another one? Just pick up the pace a little bit, so we have that in the bank, it may just die on the vine. And he's like, nope, that's perfect. That's the one right there. And he was so right, so right. It's so terrifying. And that's just, it's a genre, and understanding the genre and understanding, what the camera needs to do. And for me, it was a blast. I loved it because, there's so much of, it's a character in the movie. The camera is a character in the movie.
It is.
And so, figuring out how to pull off all those camera moves with a big crane arm inside the house. And so, by design, it's one of my favorites.